Hey everyone, how's it going? Today I'm doing my final review on the ZTE Speed for Boost Mobile. I'm going to recap the specs and go run some more tests now that it's more bogged down with apps and being used a lot. And I'm going to tell you what I think about it and wrap it up and just kind of do my final thing on this phone. So let's go ahead and get started. This phone runs Android 4.4.4. It does have a 4.5 inch display at 540 by 960 resolution at 245 ppi. This phone does have a 5 megapixel camera on the rear with LED flash, records in 720p HD, and has a 2 megapixel front facing camera and can also record in 720p in the front. This phone runs a 1.2 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon 410 processor with an Adreno 306 GPU with 1 gigabyte of RAM with 8 gigs of built-in storage with 5 gigs of maximum user storage, and it will support up to a 32 gigabyte micro SD card, although I've heard it will hold at least 64, but I don't have one, so I'm just going by what this says. It's got a 2000 milliamp hour battery with 14 hours of talk time, and the battery is non-user replaceable. This phone is LTE compatible, and it also supports Sprint's enhanced Spark network. This is, of course, got Bluetooth 4.0, all that good stuff, and overall, this is a pretty nice phone. Of course, you know, it's called a ZTE Speed, and there's times it is speed, and there's times it is slow. This is one of them phones where you kind of love it one minute and hate it the next. So we're going to go ahead and go on the phone again. Up top here is your front-facing camera, your ear speaker here, your touch buttons, back, home, and menu button. On the bottom is your microphone. On the side is your micro USB charging port. On top is your headset jack and power button. Volume rocker here. On the back is your camera, flash, and of course right here is your single rear speaker. I will remove the back cover without breaking the thing. Seems very flimsy. And of course the battery is non-removable. And right up here is your micro USB or micro SD card slot and your micro SIM card right there. Okay, so go ahead and power the phone up here. Excuse me. Now, the first thing you're going to see on this phone up here at top is this little icon right here. And when I scroll down, it says invalid card, Boost Mobile. And for some reason, it started having that issue. The phone is activated at the moment. And for some reason, after about 10 minutes of being turned on, even when it's programmed and everything is set up, after 10 minutes it will say SIM card locked. I can make phone calls, get on 3G, get on LTE, no problem. So I'm going to have to call Boost Mobile and find out what the problem is, because everything is set up right. So yeah. Now, I did mention that I have 5 gigs available to user, which is not totally correct. When you go down here to storage, you'll see that the max is total space is 4.12 gigabytes of storage. So they had it a little wrong there, but that right there is the real total space of the phone. And also, the resolution of the screen is not 540 by 960. Let me go in here and see if I can find it. First of all, I will show you the benchmark test that I ran now that the phone is old. I've been using it for a long time, and it also will tell the resolution screen in the benchmark test. So looking at N92, it's not really changed much. 20,325. Looking at the info here, it shows 480 by 854 resolution. So a little bit different there, but everything else on it's accurate. You know, it runs Android 4.4.4. You know, there is times that it hangs up when it's loading, like on 3G or LTE. It could just be a ZTE thing, can't handle the update to KitKat, I don't know. But pretty much, you know, the 410 Snapdragon and the 64-bit, you know, it's a really nice phone. Like I say, it's kind of one of them love-hate phones. You either like it or you don't. And looking at the performance, showing that the high performance for general performance 60%, and gaming battery is average at 50%. Looking over here at the quadrant speed test, you know, it came in pretty good at 10,433 on, if I can get the focus in right, but anyway, you got the idea. And the CPU down here is 42,721. I wish that Quadrant would do an update on their app for more newer phones, but they haven't done it yet, so yeah. Now we're going to run a Geekbench. I done ran one. There we go, still on there. Single core 468, multi-core 1364. When you look at the different ones here, of course it comes down here lower. 468, it does beat the Galaxy S3 and is just shy of the Sony Xperia Z. So not too bad. You know, the Galaxy S3 was like a big deal back in the day, but it surpassed that. Multi-core is 1364, and it also beats out the Galaxy S3, and it's just below the Sony Xperia Z at 1366, so just 2 points off from that. So not a bad score for a low-end device. This really nice. I mean, this phone is really good, really nice, but it does have lag here and there. You know, the inability. Now, you know, I've heard people say that all KitKat phones cannot move apps to the SD card. It is true on these ZTE phones here, but on the LG Volt that runs KitKat, I'm able to move, you know, apps to the SD card. The Caracera Hydro Icon is KitKat, and I can move apps to the SD card, as well as the Warp 4G, if I'm not mistaken, can move apps to the SD card. So, you know, some KitKat phones can, some KitKat phones can't, and everything. As I did mention, the screen quality, when you're looking like this right here, looks very sharp, it looks very clear, but that can be a little deceiving. If you look at it from the bottom here, it does begin to wash out, and if you're on pages like Facebook, Google+, YouTube, we'll click on YouTube here for a second, and we'll scroll over here to uploads. And if you had the phone up, it does look really, really washed out. It just does not look good at all until you bring the phone down. And then it kind of, you know, clears out a whole lot. So, like I say, all in all, this phone is nice. It's very cheap. This phone came out for $100 retail price. And I've seen them as low as $20. I've seen them as low as $40. And I gotta be honest with you, for what you get in the phone, with a really nice front-facing camera and a really nice, and a really nice front-facing camcorder, which I use a lot for self videos. And tonight, in my area, I've always pulled 3G service. As you look right here, it says 3G. But for just one minor moment tonight, whenever I cut the phone on, and I took a screenshot, I was actually able to get LTE in my immediate area back here in the woods for a split second. So when I seen it on there, I just had to give a screenshot and show you. As you see, I got no bars of service, but I had LTE for very briefly. So that was awesome. Hopefully it will get more widespread here soon and all that good stuff. Looking at the camera on the phone, I can find the button. You know, it does have a number of features. You know, nothing too spectacular. You know, you got all these filters of mono, sepia, negative. You know, all this stuff that you see on a lot of these phones, emboss, sketch, stuff like that. Going to the settings here, not many set, just your grid, self-timer, auto-review, picture size is 5 megapixel, 4 megapixel, 16 by 9, 3, 2, 16 by 9, 0.9, 16 by 9, and VGA quality. As far as the camcorder goes, you got full 1080. It says 720, but you got full 1080, 720, 720 by 480, 640 by 480 in MMS. I really like the idea of it being a lot of resolutions, cause you know you can go 720 and it uses a lot of storage, but 720 by 480, which is what I always use in the front-facing camera to do my self videos, and you're looking at like 15 megabytes per minute versus 100 megabytes per minute. So I can deal with a little bit less quality. So that's really nice as well. And of course it has time lapse, which I really like in a phone. And your settings here, your geotagging, storage location, and restore default. So not a whole big deal as far as that. Now going to the front facing camera, as you see, it does look pretty good and it's not bad at all. Going into the menu here, you'll see the picture size is 2 megapixel, 0.9 megapixel widescreen, and VGA. Going to camcorder, you have 720 by 480, 720 by 1280, HD, and then 480 by 640. So pretty much the same thing you always see. But to me, if you got very good adequate light, the front-facing camera on this phone is really one of the best, in my opinion. So, you know, like I say, good phone. I wish it would get Lollipop. I highly doubt it will. But this phone right here, it does run smooth. It does run really well. And I really not had any issues with it, other than the fact that the SIM card is locking up on me. It's not really affecting the way it works, but it is kind of annoying and everything. But like I say, it says 5 gigs, but 4.1 is total space on this phone. And call quality is good, reception is good. You know, everything on the phone works really nice, and it's pretty speedy. You know, even though there's times it does seem to slow down and lag down. You know, if this phone had 1.5 gigs of RAM, it would have really woke it up and really, you know, made it better. But like I say, for a budget phone, you really can't go wrong with this phone. A decent camera, good call quality, good reception, reasonable speeds. You know, so, you know, good gameplay. I've played WWE Immortals, which is a pretty big game. No hiccups whatsoever. It plays very smooth. I've played some of smaller games and it has no issues at all whatsoever. And like I say, overall, I really like the ZTE Speed. It has had a few restarts. It has had a few times where it has froze. Maybe I do too much to it. I don't know. But like I said, you know, I'm really liking the ZTE name brand. You know, I'm really, you know, when you look at this phone for $100, and you look at phone like the Samsung Galaxy Prevail LTE that just came out, you know, for about the same price on sale, and this phone right here is retail price. It's kind of a no-brainer, kind of like the LG Volt or the Sharp Aquos Crystal. You know, this phone right here really can't compare to the phones with bigger screens, and you know, the processors are the same. It's really just all on what you want. Best Buy has these phones a whole lot on sale for like $40. I think they're off sale this week, but I'm not sure. Might want to check online. These things are on eBay all over the place. You can get them for very good deals. Brand new in the box. Just go on ebay.com and search ZTE Speed, and you'll find a bunch of them on there. Some of them for very cheap, brand new, and everything. So, you know, I would give that a check out if you're interested in this phone. Of course, boostmobile.com sells them as well, but you're going to pay full retail price of $100. And if you can save $60 or $70, hey, it's worth the money to pick this phone up. Because like I'm saying, I'm really liking ZTE. One thing ZTE could work on their phones, to me, is call quality. While call quality is decent, while call quality is not much of an issue, it has more muffled sound than other phones I've used, in the past. But I really believe that ZTE is picking up the pace on their cell phones. And I mean, myself, I'm gonna have a future video here soon about high-end flagship phones versus budget-friendly phones, and to me what the difference is and what's all the hype about. So that will be here sometime in the future. But like I say, all in all, this is what I always use for a self video, because it does not take much memory and it does a very good job with audio quality, video quality, and it's just a really good phone. So for a phone, if you can get it for under $50, I would say jump on it. Because it has all the bells and whistles. It does, the benchmark test does show a lot higher than the phone performs. On occasion, it does hang up a little bit. It does freeze at times. But it's a low-end device, and what do you expect? You're getting Android 4.4.4, a front and rear camera. You're getting a Snapdragon 410 quad-core processor. So there's not much to complain about with the ZTE Speed. The design's good. It does creak a little bit, and you can hear, so that's a little annoying. But it ain't going to be made the best in the world. So anyway, going on 17 minutes on this preview here. So I'm going to go ahead and be quiet now. But if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. If you got any questions or comments about the ZTE Speed, always leave them in the comment section below. And I'll do my best to get back with you as fast as possible to answer any of your questions, the best as I know how. Please subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. Final review, ZTE Speed. Not a bad phone. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you in the next video.